So I was hanging out in this cave for 12 days and 12 nights with nothing to do but forage for berries around the mountain and hunt small creatures that live up there in the shrubbery. And on the 12th evening, I hear a noise. This guy goes. I just hear this noise. So I'm like looking around because it's quite a cavernous little cave that I'm sitting in here. Right. So I'm looking around, and I'm checking all the little. There's plenty of little alcoves off because I'm sort of in a main sort of what would you call it? I don't know, like the main area anyway. And then there's all these little branching caves off the thing, and I have. So I'm wondering what the hell that is, and if there's some kind of like creature inside the cave system that could be dangerous. So, and I'm listening at each of the different little cave entrances or like forks in the cave system, and I get to one and I have. So I'm fairly confident at this point that I've found wherever this thing is. So I'm going in there and I flick on my torch, of course, because you don't go into a cave without a torch, right? Flick on my torch and I'm looking around and I see like little bones from like fish and I don't know, some kind of like rats and things and small rodents and things like that. And so now I'm starting to think, some kind of small predator, like, I don't know, but it's something that can, I was thinking maybe it's a possum or something that can kill rats, but then the fish corpse, or, the fish corpses that I saw, means it's something that can swim, so I'm thinking, or at least go kill fish, and I'm thinking, what is this, like a bear? Like, I don't know if bears kill rats and things, but bear's just about the only thing I know that kills fish but lives in caves and things, so I'm like, crap. But I keep going because, I'm pretty manly. And it's getting louder and louder. So I'm thinking, what the hell is this thing? Because it seems to be almost saying words like precious, precious or something like that is what it's sounding like. So I'm like, what is this? Is this actually some kind of like caveman guy who's been, I don't know, maybe he's brought up by frickin' woodland creatures and in the style of Kung Pao into the fist. I mean, I didn't think I'd ever encountered that kind of thing, but this is what the thoughts that were running through my mind at this point. And so I keep going through, and there's like some tools. There's like a knife lying on the ground, like this really shit knife. And so I'm thinking it's got to be some kind of like Highlander man, who's really primitive and removed from society and all that. Because I mean, even monkeys haven't been recorded using real tools yet. There's been a monkey who's used like a rock as a shovel and stuff, but not. This was like a knife with a wooden handle and a metal blade. Monkeys don't have metal. And so I keep going in, and I can see just around the corner, coming from the corner, there's a fire. Well, I can see, the light from the fire. I can't, of course, see the fire. And there's a big shadow being thrown on the wall. The shadow is at least, like, I don't know, like 9 or 10 feet tall. So I'm starting to freak out now, and I'm hearing, precious, my precious. And I'm thinking, like, what the hell is this thing that I'm dealing with? It seems to be much taller than a regular human. And yet it's using tools, obviously, and it's speaking, well, it sounds like it's speaking at least one word of English. So I'm starting to freak out a little bit, but I'm like, don't worry, man, I'll just be stealthy. I can be stealthy at times. And so I'm like creeping up to the corner where I can see the shadow coming from, and my foot accidentally just like brushes a little stone, and it just like tic-tacs down the side of this little like ridge area. And so I'm just frozen. I'm just like, oh crap, what did I just do? And then I hear him, he stops me, I'm calling him he, but you know, whatever. He stops doing whatever he's doing over the fire, and I see his shadow, his head's looking around, and he's sniffing. And he says, somebody wants my precious. And I'm thinking, oh crap, what do I do? So I'm just backing away slowly, trying not to make a sound. And I see his shadow, and he's looking straight, like I can tell by the shadow that he's looking straight at the corner from where I am around. And I'm just really, really slowly walking back, and I look down to make sure I'm not about to step on any like twigs or anything. And then I look back up, and his shadow's gone. And I'm like, oh shit. And I'm not moving at all, because maybe, I don't know, maybe it's dark enough that he won't be able to see me. My torch is off, of course, at this time. I turned it off way back when I saw the fire. So I'm just standing there, or, you know, in a crouched sort of position, ready to move at an instant. And I'm just waiting, and my eyes are wide open. And I'm just waiting. I can't hear anything, I can just hear the crackle of the flames around the corner. And I stand there for at least like 2 to 3 minutes, just standing there, not moving at all, barely even breathing. And then I'm like, oh, okay. I'm not saying this, of course, this is in my mind. I'm like, okay, must be safe. And I turn around, and right there, right in front of my face, millimeters away, we're almost nose to nose, is this creature. And I don't know what he is, man. But he's like a human, except he's distorted. He's like if you've watched 300, he's like that guy. If you know who I'm talking about, the guy, the Spartan who wants to be a warrior, but then he was disfigured as a child and couldn't be a true Spartan. Anyway, so he's like that guy, except maybe not quite as bad, as he doesn't have a ginormous eye and stuff. But he says, "You want my bread?" I'm like, what, whoa, crap, holy crap, hello. And he just stops, and he turns his head sideways, he says, "Hello." And I'm like, I'm Nick, and I just put out my hand, like in a handshake, because I'm just like autopilot now, I don't know what I'm doing. And then he's just like looking at me, and it feels like an eternity that I'm just standing there with my hand out, not knowing what's going to happen. And he's just looking at me, and he looks down at my hand, and he looks me in the eyes. And then he puts his hand on my hand, and he shakes my hand, he says, "Gollum." And I'm like, I'm sorry, I didn't catch that. He says, "Gollum." I'm like, "Gollum?" He says, "Gollum." And I was like, what are you doing in this cave? He says, Nothing in the cave. My precious isn't in the cave." And I'm like, "What? Your precious? What's your precious?" No. Yes, I don't have a precious. What are you? Nothing. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. That's totally fine. I'm just gonna go now. So I turn around and start walking. But you know, now I've been turn around again, and I actually end up walking straight into where his fire was. And it's like a really bad little camp, what he's got going on there. And he's basically just got like a fire, and then this ruined tarp, which I guess is his blanket that he sleeps on, and some piled up fish bones and rat bones and things. And but in the corner, it's like this one cleaned out area, and all the stones around it are smooth and shiny, like there's been oil dripped on there or something. And I see this like wooden monkey. I'm like, that must be his precious, whatever he was talking about with the precious. That's it, you know, because it's almost in a shrine, the way he's got it set up. So I don't say anything, I just run. I just run, because I mean, he was freaking out when he thought I was here for his precious before, right? So I don't want him to know that I've seen. So I'm just running back towards the cave entrance. I'm like, okay, I'm leaving. And so I step out, and just start making my way to another area on the mountain, because I can't really leave the mountain just yet. But you know, I go around searching, and I'm thinking I'm gonna be looking for like some nice trees, a little open area where like near a stream. Maybe I'll meet some friendly deers and stuff.